Post election Wednesday, 2022, November 9th. Shout out to my dad. Happy birthday. InnervisionFM.com. I'm Alan C. Johnnie J, President and State Manager, Innervision FM. Welcome to the Innervision FM Universe broadcast.
Oh my God.
Who we love, that is who we serve.
Hi everybody, this is the Godfather, James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather, James Brown, saying stay with it and hit it. Thank you,
Oh, that took a while. I didn't press a button so all the buttons would be visible.
Oh, I forgot. This
and it's
try this at home.
record.
Yeah, recorded live and in person. Yeah,
Yes.
studio stuff. Yeah.
Oh, and just got my monitor. It was supposed to be here Friday. Then they sent me a thing saying, of course, I told you the story yesterday, Saturday, then Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday, and now it got here sometime last night, but we didn't find it until today. So like you might say, what does the blind guy need with a monitor? I don't need it, but other people who are maybe fixing my computer or needed to use it, they may need it.
You know, back in the late 90s, in early 21st century, it was kind of fashionable within some of the blind techie community to go without having a monitor even hooked up. So we would save space by just having a tower and only hooking a monitor up when somebody sighted would come along and need to help us with XYZ. And there were certain organizations, they touted independence. Well, that's fine, well and good to be independent as much as possible, but we as a human race are an interdependent society. We are a multi-social organism, this kind of thing. So, for one or the other part of society trying to compartmentalize themselves and scream independence, if they're going to be wanting and trying for that, they've got to try and strive and succeed all the time. And so it's important to keep that that fire of independence, freedom, liberty, and that kind of thing flowing and rolling. But we want to make sure to respect everybody. And
speaking of interdependent, we depend on you liking and sharing and subscribing to our show.
Yep.
And go to paypal.me/InnervisionDenver. Ladies and gentlemen, we do need your financial help because this stuff, doing this stuff with getting on all these channels, it's not free. And yes, it's something that we chose to do, but you can show your support by supporting our channel. And we're up to 1,497 of you. So I'm sure somebody out of that number.
1,500, that gives us 500 away from 2K. And that only makes it 8,000 away from the 10,000 mark. You, ladies and gentlemen, can make it happen. And if you go ahead and donate a small amount to paypal.me/InnervisionDenver, include your size and we'll send a
t-shirt size
t-shirt.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of.
So yeah, I have my red t-shirt and this morning I just got this new light which is very good, and it had ran out of energy, so I had to rig my script cord so we could have power. So
did you use duct tape then?
Yes. Yeah.
I got to ask you that because that's the handyman's secret weapon. Apparently, there was a show that ran in the late 90s called The Red Green Show. I don't know if you know it. But that was pretty funny. This guy used duct tape for everything. He made airplanes, helicopters out of lawn chairs, things like that. Don't try that at home, folks. You use duct tape for everything. It was not the best experiment, but it works in a pinch. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad that the light went off when it did, because it could have went off. I mean, I could have just turned it on now and would have been out of power, because it had 80% yesterday. And I guess, we went 40 minutes, and usually I like to check the back of it to see, half hour, check the back of it to see how much energy I used or didn't use. But anyway, hey, voting day is over.
Yep.
I wasn't victorious, but a lot of people here in Colorado wasn't victorious. But it's really weird. The polls said that people didn't like the way that the country was going, but like most of the Black Democrats I know, they voted against their interests. Or maybe there wasn't just enough poor people to say, wait a minute, hey, this is, maybe it's not hitting the middle to upper class as hard. They can always, but if you're lower class and you're only getting like the food stamps, maybe you didn't get out and vote. Or maybe if you're a younger person, you're living with your mom and dad and say, oh, well, let them worry about that. So.
And that happens all the time. That's what's called the post-election blues. And sometimes, that just takes place. Currently, there is 80% of the vote in on
Colorado.
In Colorado for magic mushrooms. So that's kind of funny. I never see that on the ballot.
And Colorado Springs said, no, don't bring marijuana here. Don't bring mushrooms here. Colorado said no. They said we got enough problems here.
They're a military town, so I could see that.
Yes.
But that says something for the diversity of Colorado. You've got red in with the blue, and you've got purple going on. Things like that.
And Lauren Boebert, I can't believe that this guy. Okay, when she first met the guy, he was wearing his mask, so you couldn't see who he really was. Yeah. And then Lauren, she found out something about the guy, and then he got knocked out. But then he endorsed the other guy that was running against her, and it's like, wow. I mean, she was like a breath of fresh air. She knew her Second Amendment, and she was I don't know if she was an open carry, but she might have been a concealed carry, but she was taking the blaze to Washington. And it's like, wow. So, she's younger. And so, she has a chance of, we got to figure this stuff out, man, because if the people, if they say they're hurting, or what they do is like, I guess these blue people, they move from place to place, and then they ruin each state they go to. And then they say, oh, that's bad. We don't like, let's move on to the next place. It's almost like, what would you consider that be? It's like termites. Yeah, termites, they go and they eat the wood, and when they're done with that one, they say, where else, guys? Let's go to the next wood pile or next tree and start eating that one out.
It is interesting because that's something that I've often wondered about, is if a society is bad, why bother to colonize and try to make a new one, make stuff better? If the one that you've got is unconscionable, go ahead and change the system. And that was what was unique about the American way of life in the United States Constitution. It was put in and installed by, we believe, a divine creator. I mean, it wasn't such that, God came down and wrote the Constitution per se, but, he did give to men and women alike back in those days actual wisdom. We have wisdom at the fingertip with the internet here, but it's not true wisdom. I mean, everything is kind of fake and it's not real. And I will tell you from personal experience, people had to strive even 50 years ago. And even now, the blind community are just now getting to a place where we can have Braille at our fingertips for a fairly cheap and no cost option sometimes through one of our library services. That's going to be a big game changer. I mean, information is power. And so, you know, these guys had a certain kind of wisdom, a certain kind of information when they created the United States Constitution and our governing way of life and this kind of thing. When it was created on the premise that we wanted to have everybody equal. We wanted to have all ships rise upon the tides of success. Now, of course, there were greedy folks, and things got it.
And especially during that gold rush.
Oh yeah, 1849. That was an interesting year. You guys ought to get into history. It's a lot of fun. Cross check it, fact check it with actual records of the day if you can. Go ahead to the library. Libraries, they still have some pretty cool resources and information if you dig.
Yeah. Hey, and I'd like to thank the 1,821 people that voted for me. And I was thinking, like, man, I could put together a Christian contemporary concert with that group and rent like a big hall and sell tickets and do something like that, bring in somebody they would really like. And I got to check into finding who these people are, because that would make a great concert group of people. And then Valdez, it was really weird. June 8th, 28th, that was the primary. I got about 1,065. And now in Valdez, I think he got about 7,000 some odd, close to 800, right? Okay, now Alan's, so I got 15.79%. That's what I got, you see? Alice Valdez, 9,507 votes.
Right.
And 82.44%.
Yeah.
And then Troy Berecki, the independent, I feel sorry for this guy.
Yeah.
204 votes.
Right. Yeah, you got like a 1% margin, something like that. Not even a 1%.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So and it seemed like, he was at the high number, and it just seemed like, I know when he first went out, he said he knocked on 10,000 doors. And now I'm not sure how he kept, and that's a good percentage. If you knocked on 10,000 doors and then you got 8,000 votes.
Yeah, I will tell you.
That's a good percentage.
That is. I will tell you this. There's a guy by the name of Ryan Gonzalez, and he dropped by the house the other day. And I thought that was a really nice touch. I mean, that he was actually doing his own campaign work and this kind of thing a couple of days before the stuff took place. So, I mean, on both sides, you got definite involvement in the local level. And that's where it starts, is the local level, local, state, federal involvement. That's the way to get.
Yeah. But Alice did the Joe Biden thing. Not exactly hiding in his basement, but there was no debate. And I was listening to, like, the ones they would name. There's another District 5, and it's almost like the Denver District 5 was invisible.
You're right about that. In a lot of places, they have same district numbers, and so when you're like, vote for District 5, blah blah blah. Well, it's hidden behind this other, or it wouldn't say hidden, but it's definitely, there's, like you said, there's two examples.
One in Colorado Springs and then one here in Denver.
That's right.
And so I heard them mention that one. I was like, they were going one through all of them. And then I thought, oh, okay, they're going to mention, me and Alice.
You're right.
Went right past us. And I said, well, man, we were just invisible. and,
you would think that the capital city, being Denver, it would be flip-flopped. It'd be the other way around. Alex Valdez and your particular race would have been mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and ladies, I am not depressed. I don't have the blues, because I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I got a lot of things going on, and it's like that
You're
was
running,
just
you're,
one.
you're for president 2024, right?
What? Say that?
You're running for president in 2024, right?
Like Connie, like Ye West.
Yeah. Hey,
I might run for. No, once the Republican gets in there, they were sending out applications for people who wanted to get hired. I might send out something like that, like work in Washington for 4 years or so.
Yeah.
I might do something like that, but I don't know
See,
about running for the big house itself. And
see, I'm
now
a pretty humble guy. I want to be the assistant high mucky muck to the high mucky muck.
yeah, I mean, there's ways of doing this stuff. Oh, get that thing out of my ear. There's ways of getting in the house. And now, okay, Ron DeSantis, he's riding on high, right? So he's it was like a clear runaway for him.
Mhm. Yep.
Now this guy says, I don't want. Well, he dumped $20 million into DeSantis thing, which DeSantis didn't even need it, but he says, no more Trump. We want Ron DeSantis. And so they're saying that because Dr. Oz, and that was a surprise. That was a surprise to me because I'm thinking, I know, you don't want to discriminate against people with a disability and stuff like that. But but Oz, I guess, living in Philadelphia and not being in that community, but then this guy is wrecking that community. And it's almost like maybe the people that they're wrecking are the people who don't go to the polls, so just keep wrecking their lives because they don't go vote for you anyway. And if they do, they vote for you regardless of whatever abuse you do to them. You ever heard the song "Hell Is for Children" by Pat Benatar?
Yeah.
Yes, they abuse you. They bully you. They totally abuse you. And just keep quiet. Don't say a word. When we get home, just tell that you fell off the
favorite lines off of that. Something about here. You get a new toy. There's something or other like this. Just tell Grandma you fell off the swing.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I think about these classic songs, like Smiling Faces. Sometimes they lie. Take some of these knives out my back. What they're doing? Yeah. They're smiling in your face all the time. Yep. They want to take your place. The Backstabbers. That old song. I think it was by the OJs. But so I'm thinking about Hell Is for Children, right, and Backstabbers by the OJs. And
we do like to promote grassroots musicians, whether you're physically disabled or otherwise, financially challenged, both even. So, if you're a musical artist and you're, you like to do maybe some covers or something like that, or, just got your own original stuff, man, go ahead and submit it. Info at innervisionfm.com. And, oh man, I'll tell you, dude, those songs, man, those old songs,
and they fit it, man. They fit the atmosphere. It's almost like if we were making a documentary, a movie, man, let me be on the music team. Oh, and then I was listening to the Republicans Party, and they had this old country western band there. I mean, I love country music. Don't get me wrong, but I thought they should have a band that could have mixed it up a little bit.
Right. But weird because I look at things and man, I can't believe some of the old stuff is kind of like some of the newer stuff these days. Yeah, there is some country and western that is mixed with, I don't know, this hip hop stuff. It's kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, this is one girl. She sounds like she's a black girl, but she's a country girl, and she got that sort of like that black twang to her, and then she goes into the country style, and then the country guy comes in and sings with
Right.
her. I forgot what her name is, but yeah, I say, yeah, I like that mix.
Right.
So it's like, but like I said, Christy Burton Brown, next time they have a rally or something like that, I like to DJ the mix of music.
That'd be
Dude, because I know, like the last time I said, come on, I love country music, but this is a little bit too much country. But I know they want to find something safe and something that won't offend anyone. But shoot, I can get radio edited music, or I can go back to the 80s when you didn't have to have radio edited music. You know, I could 70s, 80s, sure. Man, I can toss it up, but that's for another day and in the next few years, next couple of years, God willing. But leave your opinions down there in the subject line, because we've been getting some likes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, leave your opinions. We'll answer them. This guy named Grant Price, it slipped my mind. He's the one who was giving me rides back and forth to the different events when I first started. And then he moved him and his wife moved to Oklahoma to be close to his grandkids and his daughter.
Much. Also shout out to our sponsor. Christian Brothers Moving in Inglewood, Colorado, Phoenix, Texas. They help people move, get across the country. Richard Damiano, Littleton Eye Clinic, corneal consultant. Also want to shout out Denver Foundation, Wells Fargo Foundation, Colorado Art Relief Fund. And, you can hit us up and also sponsor by joining us at innervisionrecords.org. Wow, I almost sound like a NPR. You can blah, blah, blah. I'm very peaceful.
Yeah. Or info at InnervisionFM. You can email us topics. And so whenever people like the show, I always like to email them, go into the inbox and say, hey, if you want to suggest any upcoming topics, you can do that. You can do that. So it's just shocking that I was just looking at, so Colorado, most of Colorado is saying that they love high gas prices. And then I watched that comedian who said that, hey, if the gas prices go up to $15 an hour,
yeah, right,
I'll pay it, and the audience clapped. So wow, okay, yeah, you do you. And then they love the kids being sexualized in school. They love killing the babies as they're being born. Let's see, what was it? What else? Oh, they love open borders.
Oh, good, good. Oh, good.
Let's see. So we got the high gas prices. We have inflation, open borders. Oh, they love carjacking.
Oh, okay.
And they love dying of fentanyl.
Yeah, number one. We're number one. Woo.
Yeah, wow. And so I'm just thinking, like, wow, Colorado, that's an interesting psyche. That's just an interesting psyche. This blue state and all the, it's almost like it's the party of death.
Well, it's because it's going to be put right. We put our faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. So, the whole but God thing still gives us reason for being and gives us, everything. I mean, he's in our move. He's in our way. He's in our walk. He's in our style. He's, we're not going away anytime soon. So let them go ahead and do what they need to get done. And, his word does not come back void. So there's still a way to get involved at the local, state, and federal level if you're not happy with the way that things have gone here in Colorado. Apparently, according to what you're sharing, Johnny. I mean, but there is no reason to give up hope or no reason.
No, never give up, because what is hidden will be found out. What is whispered will be heard.
That's right. That's
right. And just keep on knocking on the door, and the door will be open. And when one door closes, another door opens.
Yeah, and we've got weeks before the entirety of the what transpired yesterday is known. So, I mean, we'll just, keep everybody apprised and keep our eyes on that prize, which is ultimate glorification of our Lord Jesus Christ. And, that kind of thing, has to take place.
Oh yeah. So hey, if you're a mega guy or a mega girl, hey, we just hope you're doing more than just going to the rally to celebrate the rock star. We hope that you're getting involved locally. And if you saw something that you could have did yesterday, but you didn't do because you were waiting on the other guy to do it or the other lady to do it, do it. When we were coming back from like voting yesterday, it was about 1:12 went to voting. I took my wife out to lunch, and then we will come back and we saw Paul Fiorino, who is also running for governor, and this other lady from I think she's from Venezuela. Yeah. And so they only got like 240 votes, I think, on this list. But that was interesting that they were Unitarians. So
Unitarian?
They were
Not libertarian?
Oh, probably libertarian. Okay, libertarian. I'm sorry, libertarian.
A church.
Hey, oh yeah. Now tell me something. There was an opening for transportation for RTD. So my wife and I wrote my name in there. Now, since we were the only one that nobody was running against or for, should I expect them to? Hey, Johnny.
I hope so. I hope it works out that way because there was another friend of mine that had found out about that position. I'm kind of surprised he didn't apply either. But we do need a blind presence representation in there because, it's important. I mean, transportation, especially as we transition into this Green New Deal, leaving aside all the environmental concerns on both sides, there is a big concern within the blind community, and that is the vehicles themselves. They're silent. So, even if you put audible stuff in there, oftentimes you just don't hear it. You're not trained as you once were, perhaps, to listen for certain sound cues that those electric vehicles make. And so, therefore, a whole fleet of them idling at a stoplight is going to potentially very detrimental. So, I mean, when everybody's on this Green New Deal and they're on, chasing the right way to go, I understand and I definitely sympathize. I want self-driving vehicles myself where I can just drop behind a wheel and punch in my destination, get there. But man, right now, we as blind folks, we are losing if we want to go take a walk at night, if we want to go for lunch, if we want to go see a movie, we have to contend with these electric vehicles and, whether we'll hear them.
Yeah. And some people, they run the light, I mean, you never know when somebody's going to run a light and you're listening for that one car that's sitting there and you hear that idle motor, but you don't know that there's another car that's planning on running that light and they don't get sideswiped, but you get sideswiped.
Yeah, absolutely. So, these are some really valid concerns that I don't believe are being addressed fully, completely. We got stuff like the National Federation of the Blind, and they've done some consideration work on this subject since 2007, and even as recently as 2017. But this is one of the reasons why people want to get involved at the local, state, and federal levels. This is just one reason. There are so many other concerns that will concern all of us, and this is why we want to not take the pressure off of either side, whether whether the blue team wins or the red team wins or blah blah blah. We're all people here.
This is as long as God wins. God is the winner, and if God is for you, who can be against you?
That's right. That's right, brother. That's right.
Oh yes. So lift your head up, put a smile on your face, think good thoughts, go listen to good music, and Oh, and next week, I don't know if we're going to have him on Monday or Tuesday. We'll have Judge Joe Brown on our show. I let him know I wanted to talk about how they demasculated slaves to get everybody else to comply, and then how the music companies are demasculating the musical artists to make them comply. And
it's interesting to bring that up. And I heard just the other day about a artist that was turned down. Very fine music, very, very great musicians, all four of them. And man, I can't remember the name, but anyway, they said, no, we're not looking for great musicians per se. We need a certain look. And that permeates the whole of the music industry, film industry.
Nelly Vanelli.
Yeah. So they just put a front, they put a front out there, a facade on something, and then they can digitally create or even create with AI some other stuff. I mean, it's really an interesting time that we live in.
Remember that song? It was in the 90s. Everybody dance now. Dun, dun, dun. She was a heavy set lady, but they put a skinny lady there. She says, hey, and then she finally got her props, but she said, hey, wait a minute, where am I? I did the video.
Right.
Where did I go? And it's like, so it's like, they'll put it. And then even in the 50s, 40s and 50s, they would, who was it? Was it the Marvelous? I think it was the Marvelous. They had Bill Schulfechter put together another group, but they had her voice. And then she finally came out and said, hey, she got mad and she quit music for a while and then finally came back and then she said, hey, I'm the original voice for that girl group.
Sure enough.
So it's done quite a bit, but so we're going to talk about that. And hopefully it will either be Monday or Tuesday of next week. So tell your friends, Judge Joe Brown will be on, and this guy's intelligent. I mean, he just has a plethora of like history in his brain. And so it may go an hour, ladies and gentlemen, but you're gonna get some stuff out of this one.
Yep. Welcome to the Innervision FM universe, and you guys have yourself a great, great, great rest of your week and a great weekend. And we will see you next week for a packed set of editions.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see you guys next week here on Innervision FM. Have a great week.